The following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Am I Mental, a live podcast where people share stories about how life impacts mental health and health impacts mental I am so out of it. Mental health impacts life. I'm being laughed at right now by the co-hosts and the guests and stuff. I get it! I'm laughing too. Anyway, I'm your host, E. With us is co-host C.
Hello.
Our no longer co-host, but is still here pretty often co-host, Bexy.
Hello.
And a guest that we have on so often that they are going to be co-host of honor, Sarah.
Hi.
So, unfortunately, the guest that we were going to have had to cancel. Bexy has some of the details, but they are still in contact, and it is going to happen.
Yes, it's definitely going to happen. Unfortunately, there were some scheduling issues and things, but we're working those out, and they have a great interest in coming on the show, and I definitely am keeping in contact with them and making sure that when they're available, we can get them booked.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because they reached out to us, and they're the bigger fish.
Yes. I was messaged on their behalf.
So right there you go. To kind of give you an idea how big this fish is.
Yes, it was. It's in my opinion, it's going to be a huge deal to have this person on the podcast, and I'm super, super excited about it. Yeah. So, hopefully, we'll get that all scheduled out soon, and stop. We can stop with the teasing. Ooh, we've got a big guest coming.
We got a big.
Although
wait,
I do like to do that.
Damn it! They decided not to come. Okay, so that has happened too many times, but it happens.
It does.
Life is all about the teasers, though, isn't it?
I mean,
this is true. I do enjoy a good I do enjoy a good surprise. So,
or a good cliffhanger, or
I can shiver with anticipation.
Yeah. Meanwhile, and my cousin Chat is just going off right now. Everyone complaining about the heat. And I had to be that guy. I have family and friends that live in this town called Redding. It's in really Northern California. And it's not Satan's butthole, but it's probably Satan's taint. It's pretty nasty. The cost of living is good. There's jobs, but the heroin addicts are all over the place. It's just one of those kinds of places. And on top of that, we were comparing temperatures all across, with all the different cousins all across the nation. And one of my cousins said, it's still 110 here in Redding, and it was 114 today. And I said, no matter how hot it gets in Sacramento, I know Redding has it worse, and I feel cooler and happier just at the thought of it. Just knowing that that's going to, rib my Redding family and friends.
They all love to hate you.
Yeah, we love to hate each other.
And meanwhile, here in Texas at 107 degrees. Ugh, it's awful.
Yeah, we're going to be 106 this weekend in Boise.
Oof. See, how hot are you getting? Just the shake of the head of disgust.
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's hot enough where I don't leave the house at all.
I feel that.
Like, why don't you ever leave the house? All my stuff is here. Everything I need is here. It's hot as hell outside, and I don't want to be around people. I'm good.
Not to mention, I pay to live in this place. Why would I not want to be in it?
Yeah. Yeah, here in the Sacramento area, we're supposed to... Our coolest we're getting for the 10-day forecast is 95, with our hottest 103. So it's just... It's not like super hot here. It's just staying hot.
What's your low?
95.
Like the low? Like that's the low?
The low. Okay, that was the lowest high.
Yeah, no, what's your low?
Let's see.
Because as long as it'll get down,
is the
okay,
coolest.
dude.
That's not
as
bad.
long as it goes down at night, I'm like, okay, I can live life, dude. Our low is gonna be 74, and I'm like, I can't even open my windows at night.
No, I'm in Sacramento. You don't keep your windows open.
Well, that is a very good point.
My low is going to be 82.
Ah!
Oh God!
Yeah.
God.
When I lived
now,
when I lived in El Cajon at 3 a.m., there were a few times it was 107 still.
Yeah. It is 8 o'clock at night here, and it is 102 degrees.
Ugh.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Take that weather and go fuck yourself. All right, so... Oh, go for it, C.
I was gonna say, if I was in that, I would swelter into a sea spew.
Right.
Yes, I am melting into a Bexy puddle, but it's okay.
This is why we've dedicated every Friday to Golfland Sunsplash after the kids and everybody get home from work and school and preschool and all that. Every Friday, we're going to water
Best
slides.
season passes you can possibly purchase.
Yep. And last time, all we did is we went in the lazy river, which is the coldest water. We went into the wave pool, which was the warmest water. And we went on the little kiddie slides. And I tell you what, I think I exercised harder on the kiddie slides, just keeping up with my kids, than I ever did on the big slides, you know, hiking up all those stairs. I came back injured from just chasing my kids.
Line on the giant slides. Like, it takes you a half hour to get up there, so it's not like you're hiking the stairs. You're like, one.
Yeah.
One.
Once you finally get to the line.
Right?
Because sometimes you're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Damn it. Not even at the line yet. But on a more serious note. Yesterday, So, I have now been with BetterHelp for about a month. This therapist, she sees through my bullshit, which is awesome. I know not to try to bullshit your therapist, but there's a part of me that likes to self-sabotage. What can I say? She saw right through it. And journaling, I wound up getting really caught up in my feels, like really bad. And then I wound up writing. I only ever write when I'm really emotionally charged, and I found that the reason I've only written a couple times in the last 10 years is that my walls cut me off from me. And that's why I'm always looking for escapism in any way, shape, or form. And here's why. I call this all alone. When people are near me, I'm all alone. When my friends are all with me, I'm all alone. When my wife lays near me, I'm all alone. When my kids hug and kiss me, I'm all alone. I feel like aluminum tastes on the inside when I stare into the void that has become my life. The two you should trust above all others betrayed me, and when all I had to give was unconditional love. When my eyes peer into my loved one's eyes, I'm all alone. When I look in the mirror and lock eyes, I'm all alone. Even when I wear a flawless disguise, I'm all alone. When you tore up my heart and curb stomped it, I became alone. You were the one that actually understood me. As my trust was destroyed in the one to whom I was closest, you showed me a deeper understanding still. You lifted me up, you dusted me off, and told me I believe in you. I felt a love deeper than I have ever felt before, and you betrayed it. All joy and love died inside me that day, and I'm all alone. I don't know how to make it live once more, and I'm all alone. Nobody ever checks on me. I have to check in on them, and I'm all alone. I hurt. I'm so goddamn exhausted. I hope to make it through, yet I'm all alone. Sarah's trying to talk as she can't. Bexy's crying.
Yeah.
C's just sitting, nodding, chewing thumbnail. Contemplating what it looks like.
That's just a whole feeling.
It's, yeah. Cat sends a crying kitty face. I am so sorry that anyone ever has to feel that way. Especially, I think a lot of men feel that way and they don't know how to voice it. They don't know how to express it because, they're told to be a man, to, pick yourself up and go on, suck it up, walk it off. And it's really sad that in this day and age, people have such a horrible attitude about men's mental health. And there's so much stigma around it that nobody wants to break down those walls and wants to admit that, I'm feeling really bad inside. I'm not okay.
I'm not okay. I'm not even remotely close to it.
And it's okay that you're not okay.
Exactly.
I can put up a hell of a pretense.
I know you can.
And I just saw a video just before I reached out to get this podcast started tonight. It said, know what depression looks like. And you see somebody dancing and having the greatest time of their life at a party. It's like, this was recorded 12 hours before she took her own life.
Yeah. I mean, the facts about, men's mental health, 6 million men, over 6 million men, suffer from depression each year, but it's often undiagnosed. 90% of people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia are men around the age of 30. I didn't know that. It's 39. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my facts here and my eyes went cross for a minute. 35% of people with binge eating disorders are men.
That's not an insignificant number.
No, it's not. No. Not at all.
That's surprising.
No one ever talks about that.
Men,
they always talk about women binge eating.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they do. But it happens to men too.
And just because we're saying men and women, just understand that we're just talking. We're not trying to be insensitive to other genders. We're just talking about the biology here.
Yes.
And the more normative. That's how stats are kept. So that's what we're working with.
Exactly.
And we're not even talking about the kids.
No.
Yeah.
The highest suicide rates in the U.S. are Caucasian men. It's shocking that men's mental health doesn't get more importance placed on it. At least to me it is.
So there was a Twitter account that I followed across my entire, all of my accounts that I've had that get banned. It was Men's Health UK. It was a guy who was fighting really hard for men's mental health. And I couldn't tell you how many times he had to lock his account down to only followers because of the amount of shit he would get just for advocating men's health. As if by advocating men's mental health, you're somehow saying don't care about women's mental health. No. There's plenty of room to give more. We don't have to give it all to one group.
That wasn't it at all, because I actually know, I know that account very well. I've spoken with them numerous times. They've reached
amazing
out to
people. I mean, or at least amazing person.
He is an amazing guy. He has reached out to me when he's seen me having an off day, a bad day, and hey, Bex, are you okay? This, I saw this post and it doesn't quite seem like you. Or is everything okay? And we talk about, our mental health together. And he got so much crap because they're like, oh, well, you're saying women don't matter. And he was like, no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that men's mental health doesn't get the attention that it deserves.
Yeah. Not trying to bury one person by lifting up the other. We're trying to uplift everybody here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he lived in the UK. That's where 84 men take their own life per week in the UK alone.
Boo.
And that's a statistic from a site called Project 84.
And I bet if you adjust for population between the UK and the US, I bet the UK rate's higher. Because that's a lot for a small population.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Like
it is
84 in the United States. Well, we have 340 to 370 million people. It's still it's still a problem. But you're statistically more likely to have that here in the U.S. because we have so many people. We're the third most populous nation. The UK is not that big in comparison.
It is not. It is not. And I mean, male deaths represent like 79% of all suicides in the U.S. That is alarmingly high. And so I just want to.
Do you know that you are statistically unbelievably more likely to be homeless if you're a male than a female in the U.S.?
Yeah. I absolutely believe that.
I absolutely believe in Weave. Absolutely believe in it. I've shouted them out before, shared information about them. Women escaping violent, abusive and violent environments. Weave.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the men version of that? Men get abused too.
They do.
And I mean,
a lot.
And we're not talking about, women really can't do some damage. Really?
Bullshit.
Really? I have seen some men that looked how you picture a woman after, one of those, was beat within an inch of her life. Happens to the men too. Some of those women are strong enough without anything, and some, they will use weapons. Pots, pans, whatever they get your hand on. Throw the lamp at your head. Well, there goes your eye.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to say we don't need to pay attention to the women and children. We absolutely do. But if you're all about equality, then be about equality.
Yeah, we need to pay attention to people.
Exactly.
There was a survey that was done. This group polled 1,000 men about their mental health. 40% of men in that group had never spoken to anyone about their mental health. 29% were too embarrassed to speak about it. And 20% said they would never speak about it because there's too much of a negative stigma on the issue. But 77% of that group said that they have suffered with symptoms of negative mental health.
Well, and that's where the suicide rate comes from.
Yep.
Yes.
If you can't get help because nobody cares.
It's alarming, but it's unfortunately not very surprising to me.
it's logical while
Yeah,
still being terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And we have a number of comments in here. Sarah, who's got this great nerd bomb avatar. Sorry, I had to shout it out. It's amazing. You know, it's about depression, does that in general. It's back there in the poem, sometimes too. Self-imposed isolation. You want help. You want to be around people, but something inside you makes you shrink back from either. Amen. Schizophrenia symptoms usually start between 25 and 30. Cat eating disorders in general are attributed to women. Yeah. Richard, I'm just glad to have close guy friends to talk to when I need to. I couldn't imagine not having their help and insight on it. Dude, I had a couple of guy friends that I could open up to, and that was like Gen X is the generation of transition when it comes to mental health. Because the generation before us really was, the boomers really were still the tail end of, you suck it up if you're a guy. You don't talk about it. They were the beginnings of this. We are the transitions phase. So, like, about half of us could say, yeah, been there. And the other half, like, nope, still old-fashioned. Yeah, that's kind of what the transition is. Your generation, Richard, and generations after, I love that you guys have it so much better. Keep it going. Don't let it stop.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. Keep pushing for it because it can get better and better.
Yeah. Ed Kat was asking if there's any stats for the reasons. Probably for the suicides, what I'm thinking. Sarah, I would imagine that the weather has quite a bit to do with that too. Oh, God, yes. SAD. There's a reason why there's more suicides in the winter than during the summer, and it isn't always the holidays. And Sarah also said there are more shelters for women and children than for men. And I had an ex who would swing on me because she knew I wouldn't. That I wouldn't hit women, and had lumped me up a few times, and I'm a big guy. Yeah, Oss is a big guy. And Kat's asking for reasons for the UK suicides. I would love to find out.
I will have to look for that. I was just
let's get Men's Health on here.
I don't
it's
know.
Middle of the night right now, so let's not.
I know. I don't think he'll be awake. I would love to have him. I need to reach out to him and see if he's willing to. I know that sometimes he has issues like with his sleeping and things like that, so he may be willing to come on the show one night. And I'm going to have to reach out to him and get him on the podcast if I can.
Yeah, I mean his bravery to face the storm like he has was an inspiration to help with this podcast too.
In fact, I'm going to look at his Twitter right now.
See if he's active.
I don't. Just to see.
And then Sarah just said, "Babe, I love that I don't have to worry about that with you. And there's something wrong with someone who would use that certainty to push your buttons." Talking about how Oz won't hit women, and because of that, his ex beat the crap out of him.
Wow.
I think there are a lot of females that take advantage of that.
I'd have to agree. I'm not going to say
really
the majority. No. But there are some.
I won't put a statistic of any sort on it, but I will say that I believe that there are a lot of females that take advantage of the "you're not going to hit me because I'm a girl."
I can't find his account.
Yeah, no. He'll sometimes deactivate it for a while. I've noticed
he
that
does. Too. Yes, he does. So I'm not jumping to, the worst conclusion or anything like that. So I will keep a check on him though.
Awesome. And to tag on to what Sarah just said, Amber Heard is proof of that. What did she tell Johnny?
Oh, you're a man. They're never going to believe you. Go ahead and tell the world.
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell him I, Johnny Depp, a man, something, abused by a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? He did. And she had to pay dearly for it. She cut off his fucking fingertip, and he plays guitar for his only escape.
She shit in their bed.
Yeah.
She is the just
vile
the very definition of a narcissistic abuser,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Amber Turd probably fits a lot
Exactly.
better.
You know, I do have some, there's some statistics on the means of suicide among males, and this was from the Suicide Prevention Resource Center. In males 15 to 24 years old, 58% use a firearm, 3% go for poisoning, 29% go for suffocation, and 10% go for other means. That's all it says is all other means on there. And men 25 to 44 years old, 48% will use a firearm, 5% poisoning, 36% suffocation, 11% other means. And 45 to 64-year-old men, 56% will use a firearm, 7% go for poisoning, 26% for suffocation, 11% for all others. And in 65-plus-year-old men, 78% opt for a firearm, 5% for poisoning, 10% for suffocation, and 17% for other means.
And we are not going to go into a debate about guns on this.
No,
podcast.
we are not.
No,
we are
not.
absolutely not.
Absolutely
that is not
not.
why I mentioned. That is not why I mentioned those stats. I am not.
I'm just making sure that is clear to everybody that is listening, everybody in the chat. If you guys want to have that discussion, take it elsewhere, please. That is a very hot topic. It is a global hot topic, and that's something that is better off with cooler heads to prevail. And if we're going to go about that, there's not going to be a cool head in this place.
Well, and it's just going to take away from the importance of what we actually are talking about.
Yep.
Exactly.
Ignore the tool. Look at let's find the reason why.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things are absolutely all of the ways that someone takes their own life are absolutely terrifying. And I don't think that one is more important, or I don't want to say more important. I don't think one should be
highlighted over another.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
See, this is why we get each other, because you can finish my sentences.
Did you ever see that? It was popular for a little bit on TikTok, the duet, where it starts singing the it's from it's from Frozen, when they like meet up with like the Anna and what's his face, the prince, and they start singing that song about, oh my god, I finally found somebody. It's like, we're like something about we eat each other, we finish each other's, and she's all sandwiches. She's like, no, this is mine. Yeah, I had to do that one.
Men often feel signs of suicidal tendencies in men can be, struggling with their mental illness, struggling with unemployment, social isolation, a history of physical or any kind of abuse, really. And you never know what someone has gone through in their life, especially when the group of people you're talking about has mainly been told to, just get over it.
Yeah. Suck it up.
Yep.
So the one that was really there for me the most when I was having my meltdown over, not this Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say the full name. I'm just going to give the nickname. If he's listening, Ak, you were there for me like nobody's business. And that is why, more than anything, I will drop everything and come to your aid for any reason. You're my brother. You are truly the best friend that someone could ever have asked for. Even though we haven't talked in years, I know you want to have time where you can sit down and talk for hours. I get that. I want that too. But damn, dude, I miss you. I just want to talk.
You're talking about who I think you're talking about. He's always been one of the kindest souls on the face of Earth. of the planet. I have always loved that person.
AJ?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty tight. Especially in high school. We were really tight. He took over my paper route when I had to quit because I thought high school was going to be so much harder than junior high. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like a huge fucking step back. The two things I could say that I actually learned in high school that I hadn't already learned in junior high was how to type and how to drive. That's it.
How to
Yeah.
with Rita?
Oh, typing?
Oh no, typing with Mr. McNames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, he was my driving instructor, too.
I know. God, he was awesome.
He's very awesome. All right, so here we go, Sarah. Well, and really, I would hope at this point, beyond politics, that everyone can agree one of the most important drivers for the shootings we've been having is mental health. You know what? I can agree with that. That's been a major driving factor. Our kids are under so much pressure with so little support. Same as suicide. We are only as stable as we are mentally healthy, both within ourselves and in our environment. I believe drugs, violence, homelessness, so many of our societal issues are driven by lack of understanding and support of each other. I can fully back that.
I can too.
agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah's spitting some truth.
Yeah. Now, there's a road here that goes very long length. Like, I mean, it goes from like Roseville into downtown Sacramento. I don't know. Maybe it even goes as far as like Elk Grove. I don't know. Roseville Road. If you know this road, you know this road. Yeah, it's paralleled by a railroad track, and then there's subdivisions and small businesses on the other side. Just a few years ago, driving through it, you'd find a tent here, a tarp there, a little bit of trash. Sad. But that was the reality of things. Go forward just a little bit more from there. Now they're tent cities. And there's also cardboard boxes and stuff, like, you know, to lay it out. And yeah, I just went down it again just this last week. Burnt out cars.
Oh.
All over the place. Aluminum siding. I mean, it has gotten to that point where it's no longer just a tent city anymore. There's all, like, the tents are gone. They become permanent homeless camps using something that's more durable than a tent. Burnt out cars. Dead vehicles. And this isn't just like, oh, one spot. No, this was over a mile of driving it. Just almost the entire time. Just little pockets of clean land. And then there's the aerial photos that you can see down in the river area on Business 80. It looks like it could be India. Richard just said, sounds like a Hooverville. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know that term, look it up.
Yeah. The beginning of all the tent cities.
Yeah. And it's sad. You know, when I lived in San Diego, I saw more homeless people there than I've seen anywhere else. But it makes sense. If you're going to be outside, exposed to the elements, what better place than San Diego, especially closer to the beach, where it never gets above 80 at night in the day and never goes below 50 at night. You're not going to burn to death or freeze to death.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what Kat was looking for was more about the reasons for death, or for the suicide, not. And that's the problem with trying to find out reasons for suicide. Not everyone leaves a note.
This is true.
Not everyone reaches out.
This is true, which is why it's so important to, support each other in the fight against the stigma attached to mental health. And, we can learn so much.
So
just by talking to others about mental health.
What I wish people would know who don't reach out Because usually, at least from my own personal experience, I don't reach out because I feel like I'm going to be a burden.
Yep.
Yep.
It's going to be a fuck ton more of a burden if you don't and something goes way wrong.
And Kat just said something that does, oh God, it boils my blood to no end. And we could talk about that next week. Because the good old US of A doesn't support our soldiers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that the only time we ever talk about the VA is when the death rate is higher than normal? Not it crossed into unacceptable territories. No, it's higher than normal because it's always been unacceptable. It is horrible. And yes, there are some good VAs. I've had a friend who, you know, he is really beat up and injured, and he does all this stuff through the VA. He said the one over in Reno, absolutely amazing. All the other ones he's been to, garbage.
And they could do so much. Like, they could do so much good. But I think there's a lot of red tape that stops stuff, and if we could just get rid of half of that shit.
Yeah. Kat also said, my personal opinion about men's suicide probably goes in waves, depending on the state of the world. I'm sure there were many more after Vietnam War, also Afghanistan, all the troubles in the Middle East. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a reason why a lot of people do 22 for 22. It's 22 push-ups to commemorate the 22 veterans that are going to commit suicide that day.
Yes.
That's just veteran suicide for
Yes.
U.S. soldiers. Or U.S. veterans.
And, you know, this is something that, you know, next week I think next week we're going to have a good show about, you know, all of that and more.
And lots of tears. Possibly.
Lots of tears.
And Richard said, I heard mayors and governor nominees in California are wanting to push for mental health help for the homeless since the situation isn't getting better for people. Living here, that's a common talking point to get elected. And then nothing happens.
And then, yeah.
So, it's going to be one of those, I need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, I come from a heavily military family, and the common thread I see is that you take people who sign up to protect and fight for noble causes, sent into wars where they see horrible things, then they are brought home with no support, essentially members of an awful club that changes and isolates them. Yeah, we do a great job preparing you for war, but we don't do anything for preparing you to return to civilian life.
Yeah. And to your families who also have to work with it.
And then Richard was just saying that Jon Stewart's been vouching hard for the veterans. I'm going to have to check that out. Yeah, I have my other co-host next to me if you can hear him talking. My Mr. Man is next to me. How old are you going to be soon?
5.
He's going to be 5 next month. Just a couple
God,
of
I
weeks.
cannot believe that. Where did all that time go?
Seriously. It doesn't
Like,
feel like 5 years ago I was sock surfing the hallways at the L&D Center.
No. I mean, oh my goodness. Like, it was 5 years ago that I met you. It was right after he was born.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to send you the hashtags that I used. Oh no, my accounts are suspended. You can't see any of the content anymore. Oh well. Also, something that I would love to get a subject matter expert on is, more so than anywhere else, Twitter and the mental health crisis just being a part of it. Because, dear God, the most insane stuff that we have to deal with seems to start on Twitter. If not Twitter, TikTok.
For me. There you are.
Here I am. Okay. Come on. Okay, looks like we're back.
Maybe.
Yay, we're back.
I think so.
Yeah, my VPN decided to get annoying, so I had to shut it down. Sorry about that.
All right.
So I totally forgot what I was saying. I have no idea if apparently the listeners didn't get it either. So cool.
Well,
I was like, I think I'm making a pretty decent point here, and everybody's just staring. And then I see my own playback screen. It's frozen. Oh, okay. I see how it is. That's right. I was talking about Twitter, like the most screwed up shit that we have to deal with, like it seems that comes to the forefront, starts on Twitter. And if not Twitter, it starts on TikTok. Like the TikTok pink sauce. Have you guys heard of it?
Yeah.
Hell no. I
Just-
don't do the TikTok crap.
the what?
Yeah, this lady's she's going to jail. I don't doubt it at all. So she's making this pink sauce. The consistency of it changes in color between every time they show it. She's selling it. It's not FDA approved, supposedly being done in a laboratory. She'll send it in plastic bags. She'll send it in boxes and bottles and stuff, not refrigerated. And one of the ingredients that she confirmed is milk. And people are pretty sure that there's mayonnaise too. So it'll go sit out in your mailbox in 110 degree heat, probably 120 or more inside the mailbox. And then people get it, and it says to refrigerate after opening. And she's like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure that it's okay before you open it, to go ahead and let it get warm. And then she was like, why do I need FDA approval? It's not a medical device. The F in FDA is food.
To be fair, though, she didn't know that.
I could say, yeah, I agree. But, I mean, if you're trying to get an FDA approval, at least find out what it is. Find out what they do.
Mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't even know what it meant,
Yeah, it's
and
just...
she's making stuff.
Yeah, and her nutrition label, the ingredients are misspelled. There's no way that the nutrition numbers actually make sense. Like a bottle with 444 servings. Oh, wait, no, I meant that's ounces.
All right, but I'm totally gonna be the person that I am right now. All right, because if you're gonna go ahead and purchase something like that from an individual, you're the ones we need to remove the warning labels for.
Yeah.
I can
I'm
agree
sorry.
with that.
But if you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna buy this food-like product, whatever in the name of God it is, off of some chick on Twitter or TikTok, you're gonna deal with your consequences.
And when I was looking at her, I was like, you look like that same lady that sued Gorilla Glue because you put it in your hair like an idiot.
Oh.
Right?
It's glue. At what point does glue equate to hair product? And they lost the suit, which is just stupid.
Well, it's at the same point that somebody decided to try to straighten their eyelashes with a hair straightener, which is why there's a warning not to use it on your eyelashes.
And then, of course, there's the famous coffee from McDonald's.
Oh my God.
There's a lot that went into that, though.
Oh, yeah. She literally almost died from it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it's at the same time, it's like you went to McDonald's because you knew they had the hottest coffee. That is why you went to McDonald's. They were famous for having the hottest coffee. Again, yeah, she almost died. That sucks, but you knew. At least you knew that if you're gonna get burned, you're gonna get fucking burned.
Yeah. You're gonna get toasted.
Yeah. It's like going, I'm gonna go ahead and poke at this lava coming out of this volcano. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna stand next to this bison that I've been told not to and take a picture
Yeah, I saw that
for
video
the
too.
23rd time this year because I'm not smart enough to learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah, and then of course there's those GF. Goddamn, I can't remember the acronym. The safety outlets in bathrooms because of people trying to dry their hair while standing in a shower or bathtub.
Okay, I didn't know that was actually a thing.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a thing.
You know those power outlets that have the little white and red button?
Yeah, the reset button and the test button.
Yeah, that's so if there's a short in the circuit,
it'll automatically short out.
Yep, so that way you can't electrocute yourself in your own bathroom.
Okay. Life-saving measures.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad it exists, but it had to be invented.
Well, I'm going to spin the positive on it and say, boy, are we saving some children.
That is true. And that I'm totally for.
Yeah, that's what I'll go with that.
Whoever came up with it, though, I mean, it was brilliant.
Seriously. Talk about a device.
Yeah, if there's any kind of a short in the bathroom, yeah, that thing's going to go pop.
Huh.
Oh, here's a fun one for
I'm
you.
really I'm getting this visual of drying my hair in the shower.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like maybe a small bathroom, and they're just standing in it. It's off, but they're still standing in a puddle. And, of course, that puddle's touching the metal.
That's my bathroom. Like, literally, my bathroom is a tiny little box with a bathtub. And, like, if something were to fall off the tiny little counter I had, it would either land in the toilet or in the bathtub.
One way or another, your ass is getting zapped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yay, I have protection.
Yeah, no, seriously. If you ever go into a house and you don't see that in the bathroom, yeah, I need this fixed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be, like, if you have 2 bathrooms, they could both be on the same circuit. Only one of them needs it.
Oh, okay.
But test it. You know? That's what the test button's for. That way you pop it, go into the other bathroom. Do any of the outlets work? They better not.
Yeah. Huh.
Fun fact.
Right.
Who invented, why was the smoke detector invented? And why was the carbon monoxide detector invented?
Why? I was really trying to think of this. I don't know.
I have an idea. Probably in the 1800s, something caught fire and there was nothing to put it out, and people had to jump from the windows.
I will say,
onto
I'll put
other
it this
people.
way. These things were only invented, I think the earliest was like in the 50s, 1950s, and the other one was like in the 1980s.
Was it because of factories?
No.
Probably.
Where is fire the most dangerous environment to the survival of the people that are there?
Cities?
Think higher.
Oh, like loaded apartments, the buildings that go up?
Even higher.
Skyscrapers?
Even higher.
Skyscrapers?
The Empire State Building.
Higher.
Talk to me. Talk to me, Goose.
NASA.
Oh, shit.
If you're trapped inside of a space capsule, a shuttle, space station, and you have a fire, that's fucking horrible. If you have carbon monoxide building up, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how much stuff we got because of NASA. Did you know that we got radial tires because of the space shuttle? The steel-belted radial tires?
I did know that.
Yeah.
I don't know where I knew that from, but I know it. I've heard that.
Because before then, it was mostly the compound tires, which get flat spots and stuff if you let them sit for too long.
Oh.
But they also couldn't handle the sheer the contact with the ground when the shuttle comes in. The shuttle does not come in gently gliding like a glider. It comes in like a bullet because those wings are short. It's falling gracefully, as you know, put by Buzz Lightyear.
It's falling with style.
Yes, falling with style. That's all it's doing. And when those tires hit the asphalt, they hit and had to accelerate to such a high speed so quick that standard tires could not handle it, and the steel-belted radials came for it.
Wow. Damn.
That's something we know now.
Yep, and we have waterproof pens and power tools as well because of NASA.
Yeah, I knew that we had like the space pen things that can like ride upside down, and
Can't
you
use,
know.
and you got to be careful with graphite because the graphite dust could get between circuits,
Okay.
short things out because it's
I
highly
knew you would
conductive.
answer my question. I knew you would answer it. I was going to be
Yeah. Why don't they just use pencils?
Yeah, because the graphite dust.
okay. All right. I knew there had to be an actual like reason.
And the cat was like, like landing at Rochester. We were slammed into the tarmac. That's like landing in San Diego by any plane ever because they have to dive in. It's like they glide in, get over the last building, swoop down. It's like a roller coaster. God, it's fun, though.
No, that does not sound fun. That makes my stomach turn just thinking about it.
I like those kinds of things. I love roller coasters. I love thrill rides.
I like roller coasters. I can't handle drop rides. I can't
love that
check
drop.
it out. Like I can take a roller coaster all day long. I can't swing on a swing set.
You don't like the stomach going, ah!
I can't. I used to love it. I cannot hang with that at all. Nope.
I still love it. Unfortunately. Yeah, I love it. Like, yeah, guess what? Golf Lad Sunsplash, the drop-off ride, where it's just you and a couple of walls that are maybe 4 inches tall, and that's all you have is that in that slide.
Nope.
I love it. And I'm like, yeah, they actually now have netting around everything. But I'm like, what's the netting going to do? It's going to twist you, tangle you. You're going to fall down, break every finger and toe along the way, and probably dislocate stuff too. But
It's
I mean,
to
at least
catch
you're
you.
alive. But you're going to be.
It's to catch you when you spread out. How do I know that? From experience. Because your instant reaction when you are falling is to spread, to slow the fall. But when you spread like that and you're on a slide that's down like that, the water flips you off the slide.
Yeah. And for the ladies out there, in case you're wondering why there tends to be bleachers full of prepubescent teens, teenagers, and young men at the drop-off rides, because two tops tend to drop off or fly up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you should be aware of that. You're not going to get in trouble for flashing if that's your thing. If you're expositionist, you'll fit right in, but you still shouldn't be doing that.
And if you're not comfortable with that,
just
your
be
warning.
aware. Yeah, just be careful. Yeah, my walls are up pretty good right now, if you can't tell.
Hey.
The cat was saying that she was looking out the window flying into Rochester going, no, too fast. That has got to be terrifying because you have no control.
yeah. Taking off and landing scares the hell out of me every time.
Oh, I'm
love taking
very
off.
nervous flying when it comes to the takeoff and the landing myself. I don't like it. I'm okay once we're in the air. Even if there's turbulence while we're flying, I'm okay with that. I hate the takeoff and the landing.
And people
I
keep
am
saying,
there on that one.
and people keep saying, oh, why do we need pilots when we can automate takeoff and landing? Yeah, no, we really can't.
No.
You can't.
I mean, maybe someday soon, but right now we're not there. There's just way too many variables, way too many things to keep track of, and we've seen what simulated flights have done when they actually try doing AI takeoffs and landings, and it ain't good.
Yeah, no, I'm going to trust a human, and that didn't go right. We got to do this reaction every time on that.
Yep.
And I've been checking. So there's this guy I've been following for about a year now. If you like Mr. Ballin, you'll love Mentor Pilot. He takes the crash reports, goes through it. Him and his staff, they come up and make these amazing graphics, like 3D moving graphics and like models to show you what happened. And they break it down. And he's really big on the Swiss cheese model, which I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. It's that every layer of protection is like another layer of Swiss cheese, but there are times when a hole does line up. And then you put down another layer a Swiss cheese that blocks those holes, but you might have another hole somewhere else that you missed. And how that model, it's the best we have. It's a reactionary model. You can't always be proactive because you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that one thing that I love about what the aviation industry does that a lot of industries don't. You self-report your mistakes, and you have no fear of your own job because mistakes happen and they can learn and improve from it. If you don't report, you get your ass thrown out. And that is a very close club.
I really wish there were other things that did that.
It's like, yeah, you know what? People make mistakes. And you know what happens after they make a mistake? They admit it. They go get additional training so they don't make that mistake again. And then new procedures are made up, safety features are invented, whatever's needed. That's why the aviation industry is like the safest on the planet. Yeah, when they have an accident, it's big news because it's rare.
I think they need to start looking at pharmacy like that.
I agree. I think we need to start looking at a lot of industries like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like pharmacy, you misfill something and it is disciplinary action after disciplinary action after disciplinary action. And you can't say, well, I worked 80 hours this week. I had no pharmacy technician on and I was filling 200 prescriptions in 3.5 hours. They don't care.
Yeah, they need to care. What's one of the biggest causes of death in America?
Misfills?
Medical mistakes in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I would consider a misfill a medical mistake. Because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I used to tell people when I was training pharmacy instead of doing compliance that I'm like, listen, man, you got to look at every single patient like that's your grandma. You got to fill that prescription like you are filling it for your grandma every time.
And you know why there's a lot of recounting? Because it's grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate the people that get really impatient. You already counted it. Yeah. But this is what they do for a living, and when you start doing it, it starts getting mundane. That's when the mistakes
super
happen.
Monotonous. Can't get comfortable.
And Kyle was just saying, I heard or read recently that they're already automated. I'm thinking Rochester was manual. There may be a few that are automated, but by and large, and this is coming from the mentor pilot who's still actively involved with commercial piloting, that takeoff and landing is still almost completely done by man, but there's aided. There's a lot of aided. There's a lot of aids to help make sure that they do their job. But one sensor upside down, that could be that could be a fatal catastrophe. One sensor that gets a little bit of moisture in it could cause a fatal catastrophe if left to automation. There's so many things. There was one incident where these pilots knew that there was a good chance when they were coming in that one of the left runway was going to be closed for construction, and the right runway would be the one that they're going to land on if they came in within certain hours. Well, they thought they made it before the runway was shut down. So when they saw the construction lights, they thought those were apron lights. Then they saw the right runway's lights, thought they were the left runway's lights, and they almost landed on the taxiway next to the terminals, which was not a runway.
Oh, God.
Fortunately, other pilots saw the mistake the guy was making, and they all turned on their landing gear lights and every light they could, so the way the pilot would be like, wait, that's wrong, and do a circle around, and that's what happened. But they came within feet of colliding. 6-foot difference from the landing gear and the tail fin of the plane below it. That's how close it got.
It's a whole lot of lives you got to keep safe. To tell the truth, I wouldn't want that responsibility.
Mm-mm. I mean, I like flying, but I can't imagine that being... I mean, for the pilots, God bless you guys. Seriously. Bless all the pilots and all the people that work in the air industry. Your job got way more difficult than it had to after certain events, but you guys, one mistake and you guys could all be wiped off, removed from the census.
Okay.
And you guys do this day in and day out, and you guys go to, from my understanding, pretty much usually the same destinations and having worked at a karaoke bar, just because you work at a fun place doesn't mean that it's always fun. And sometimes it gets aggravating being there because everybody else is having fun, but you have a migraine and you have to pretend to have fun. Those are always great. And you guys have to show up and do it too. And it's like you guys could be landing in Bora Bora how many times a week?
Right.
But seriously, you guys are amazing. Just like, again, nurses, like anyone that's, I guess pretty much anyone that's contributing by doing stuff that helps others in any way, shape, or form, and it's something that you do repeatedly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get you all in there.
Let's get you all in there. Well, because it's all important.
I did get from my one thing. Okay, so again, I'm not sponsored by BetterHelp. I'm just really impressed with it. When I put in my journal, it was entered at 1:27 a.m. on July 28th. Her reply came in at 7:07 a.m. She starts at 7,
damn.
so 7 minutes after she started for the day. No need for apologies. You're allowed all your feelings. This is therapy. We need to acknowledge and grieve our losses and disappointments. Only then can we move on from them. I think you did some great work here. Everyone wants to feel worth making an effort. Your need is valid.
Wow.
That's amazing.
7 minutes from her clocking in to responding with that. After
Wow.
having read my journal entry. That is...
Well, and that's a hell of a good response. That's a fantastic response.
Yes,
exactly.
it is.
It was very...
It is.
I mean, it was not boilerplate at all. It was very directed to what was said in the journal entry, which I have it set to auto share. I've never shared a journal before, so this is a little scary for me.
I was going to say that's a big thing and it's scary. But like one of my favorite people, Fred Rogers, said, anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. And when we talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary.
Fred
I'm
Rogers.
so glad you brought up Mr. Rogers. I was talking to my daughter yesterday about how I would really like it if she would find some of the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhoods episodes for my granddaughter to watch.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, well, I've heard you talk about Mr. Rogers, but I've never actually seen him. I'm like, honey, he was like the mental health, like, pioneer for kids.
Yes.
And like he teaches kindness and acceptance, but above all, he teaches you that it's okay to feel your feelings.
Yes. And I love the fact that the trolley was to give a separator, but a bridge between make-believe and reality. He made it its own world.
Yeah.
Very poignantly made it his own world. He didn't. I mean, he liked Sesame Street, but he didn't like how they blended reality and fantasy.
Sarah,
Yeah.
if you download the PBS Kids app, Mr. Rogers is on there for free to watch.
Oh, thank you.
I was just checking on that too.
Aw.
I was just signed into it.
Yeah, no, I immediately looked it up when she mentioned it because I was like, I haven't sat down and watched an episode of Mr. Rogers since I was a kid. That was one of my favorite shows as a child. And honestly, this is what really kind of sucks is a lot of my family made fun of me for watching it.
And you ready for this?
That's terrible.
The spirit of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood does live on in Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. It is the same show, but animated.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's actually where it came up last night.
Because
when I was
Daniel
talking
Tiger?
to my daughter, she was talking about Daniel Tiger, and she's like, I just love the intro song, and she starts singing, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And she's like, what? I was like, no, really, you need. So my granddaughter will play it and just listen to the intro, and then she'll do something to change it so she can go back and listen to the song again.
It's a beautiful day
That's
in the
awesome.
neighborhood.
That's awesome. There was one point in time that he fed the fish and he verbalized it.
Yes.
And it was like the first time he had verbalized it. And months later, he got a letter from a woman whose son was blind. And her son was very concerned about the fish.
I remember reading this letter.
And
Yes.
that's why
about
he
this.
started verbalizing it every time that he went, oh, I'm going over to feed the fish now, so that kid would know that the fish were okay.
And see, that's the kind of thing that I absolutely love about this man. And I mean, when he was first, making episodes back in the 60s and stuff, and there was all of the turmoil and stuff, and he invited the mailman, who happened to be a black man, to sit in a, dip his feet in a kiddie pool with him, and then, helped him dry his feet off after they got done. And that was like a groundbreaking thing. And the man was way ahead of his time.
Because the mailman had told him, I would love to, but I don't have my own towel. And he said, that's okay, you can share mine.
Yeah.
And he just, naturally, that's how he viewed the world. That's just, he wasn't putting on airs. That was who he was through and through.
Oh, he fought for it in court. He fought for it. He fought for the funding for it when they were going to cut it. He fought his tail off for the mental health of us.
Yeah.
Like, literally of us. Like, it just gets me every damn time.
He fought so hard. I mean, it was his life's legacy, and it's a word. I mean, I can't think of a better legacy.
And it's one that's lasted to this day. I mean, there are so many things that can be learned, from his teachings, from everything that he's left behind. And I wish more people would, realize that, hey, it may be old, but this is a great show to watch with your kids.
He was also one of the first shows ever to make sure that there was no smoking by any of the guests. Never on camera. Yeah.
Yep.
He was very big on, these things are dangerous. Even before it was like well known. He's like, these things are dangerous. And holy shit, he was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kat just said it. The very best thing about Mr. Rogers, absolutely nothing negative ever posted or written about him. No scandal at all.
Ever.
That's up there with Prince. I heard of a single scandal, and thinking back on it now compared with some of the other stuff, it was minor.
Right.
He rented a Malibu mansion, and because purple is his thing, he painted it purple without the landlord's permission. And the landlord got mad about it. And he's like, I'm Prince, everything's purple.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, they probably should have addressed that in the rental contract or the rental agreement, but that's it. That's his scandal.
I had the wonderful opportunity to see him on his motorcycle and his limo and see his house when we were living in Minnesota, because we didn't live too far from where he was. So, like, you would see him and his entourage occasionally.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And
that was super cool.
And then a lot of people are like, well, he had this a lot of ego, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he did. He fucking earned it.
If I was that freaking awesome, I'd be walking around with an ego taller than I am as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, do you have any idea how many songs he wrote for other artists and never took credit for it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, so many.
It's like he had an ego, but he was also humble at the same time. It's the weirdest thing. The duality of man right there. I mean, seriously.
He's a cool guy, man.
I mean, there are other people out there that, did, I think, amazing things for mental health, like Bob Ross. I mean, people think it's just a painting show.
No,
but he was so much more.
So cathartic.
Than just a guy who made happy little trees.
Or happy little mistakes.
Yeah, the happy little mistakes was my favorite part, because accidents
he is the person
okay.
who taught me that it's okay to have an accident, to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And that it's not the end of the world.
And that it's still beautiful.
Yes.
And I can't remember how.
Make a little mistake, it's still beautiful.
And the one that you see that they record, that's his third or fourth time painting that, as he spent like 3-4 times before that just mastering how to get it done fast.
Did you
So he
watch
put a ton of work behind what he did.
Did you watch the Bob Ross thing on Netflix?
I have to. I haven't yet.
It's going to really tick you off.
No.
Oh, really?
No, it's not going to change your view on him at all.
It's just the shit he had to deal with.
He got screwed.
Yeah, he did.
He got completely screwed.
I read articles about it. He got. Yeah.
And now, the people who purchased his name, which are the people that he worked for that were producing the show, won't even let his own son, who's named after him, sign his own paintings with that name because they own the name.
That's ridiculous.
So Kat said it. Asmer before it was Asmer. And I was like, we need to make that t-shirt. Bob Ross, the original Asmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously. I put it on to go to sleep. I don't even make it through the first episode. I'm just poof, out every time. And I'm mad because I really want to see what that painting is. And I've started it like 40 times. That's a great sleep aid.
Do you know who else I think doesn't get enough credit for helping kids and teaching them, about not only like mental health, but things about life? That's LeVar Burton.
Yes.
I absolutely loved reading Rainbow as a child. It is one of the shows that instilled in me a love of literature of all different kinds. And he was always kind, and he was never impatient or rude or anything like that. And I absolutely love that show.
And if you guys heard that, a military helicopter just flew overhead. It's fire season in California. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, we're getting some of your smoke.
No, but seriously, LeVar Burton has done a ton. And I loved his little cameos on Big Bang Theory. Because it shows that he doesn't take himself seriously. He's a big goof. He's a lovable guy. And he is very dedicated to literacy among children. I mean, seriously, could you ask for better?
Right. Where are Quiet Heroes now?
I would say that one of them, Blippi. If you don't know Blippi, you should. Especially if you have young kids or grandkids. He is the modern Mr. Rogers. High energy, very kid-like in everything he does. He can be pretty annoying for adults, but everything he does has a purpose. There's lessons behind it. There's explanations. You can do this too. I mean, gung-ho. It's amazing.
Okay.
He did sell it, so there's now a new Blippi. Not quite the same, but still good. But the old stuff, chef's kiss. Amazing stuff.
Okay.
I made sure that my kids watched it.
There's a meme that I love that has 5 people in it. It's Bob Ross labeled "Be kind to yourself," Mr. Rogers, "Be kind to others," Steve Irwin, "Be kind to animals," LeVar Burton, "Read a book," Weird Al Yankovic, "Be kind to the weird."
Yes.
I love Weird Al.
Yes.
There's another one.
Is awesome. And Weird Al is awesome. There's actually a movie coming out about him.
Yeah, Weird. The Al Yankovic story.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I was so surprised when I saw who was playing Weird Al in that movie.
I didn't see that.
It's Daniel Radcliffe.
Perfect.
Harry Potter is going to be Weird Al.
That's kind of awesome.
But you know what? That's perfect.
It's amazing.
They could easily, I mean, his face, the base shape of it's not too different. They just have to extend his jaw a little bit.
Well, he definitely has his own flavor of weird.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen Horns?
Yes,
I
have.
And?
It's an amazing story.
It's really, really good, but it's definitely...
That
flavor.
That was Daniel Radcliffe saying, "I'm not Harry Potter," and it was amazing.
I'm trying to remember the other one where he's like Swiss Army Man.
I haven't seen that one. There was the one where he went undercover with like the neo-Nazis as a reporter, and so he's like dressed up with a skinhead garb and everything.
Jesus.
Yeah, he is so diverse as an actor. It's unbelievable. God, what was that? There's a movie that we just watched. It was with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum and Daniel Radcliffe. And you could not have picked a better person to play the role that Daniel Radcliffe played. I swear, there maybe only Steve Martin could have done as well.
Really?
Yes.
That's
it is.
taking a whole lot.
I know I'm putting a lot of that. I'm putting a lot on this by saying that, but yes. I'm not calling him the next Steve Martin. I'm just saying that that's the level of holy shit, this guy's diverse that he put into this.
All right. I love Steve Martin.
How about Martin Short?
Okay, I'm assuming you've seen A Night You'll Never Forget for the rest of your life?
I haven't seen that, but I did see The Morning Show.
Okay, so in 2018, they did a comedy on Netflix. It was Martin Short and Steve Martin. I highly suggest that you watch it. And it's called A Night You Will Never Remember for the rest of your life.
I love that. I'm going to have to check that out. Those are two amazing comedians.
It's fabulous. It really is.
Martin Short plays a character so scumbag on the morning show that you see him, you get angry.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It
there's
is
only been
such
one
a
character.
great delivery of what he did. And it's like, he is one of the most beloved actors of all time, and after this role, you fucking hate him. But only because of the role. You don't hate him. Kind of like, Joffrey from Game of Thrones. You're like, ah! Wait, no.
Oh my God, yes.
He's a good kid, but fuck that role.
Do you know, speaking of Game of Thrones, that the lady that plays Cersei on Game of Thrones has actually had food and drinks thrown on her in public because she's played this character. She gets so much hate for it.
Really?
And I think that is the mark of like a wonderful actor, because people are not, she made you believe. Just like, the kid who played Joffrey. While you're watching that show, you get so angry at him.
Yeah.
And I know I did.
So the movie that I was thinking of was called Lost City.
Gotcha.
You will die with Daniel Radcliffe. It also has Brad Pitt in it. And Brad Pitt, as always, he could steal the show just because he's such a powerful, commanding actor with so much gravitas. Even when he's being a goofball, he still steals the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I have watched movies that I may not have wanted, I may not have been initially all that interested in just because Brad Pitt has starred in it. So I get that. I just like his acting.
Like, there's certain actors that when they're on the screen, they just kind of dominate. The Rock is one of them. It's hard to be to share camera time with The Rock. It's hard to share camera time with Matt Damon. It's hard to share camera time with Brad Pitt. Not because they're not willing. It's just they just dominate naturally.
Like, I think it would be hard to share camera time with Keanu Reeves because he is just so. I love me, and that's another man who has been through much crap in his life, and he is the most gentle soul.
I would love to have Keanu Reeves as a guest on this podcast. Like, if I could have my one celebrity, him.
Yes.
Hands down. No question.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? He is so kind that I bet he'd do it if he had the time.
He might.
I'm going to be feeding Keanu Reeves.
That'd be awesome. And I totally think he would.
Yeah, he's kind enough that, if he... Hey, Keanu, if you're listening to this, @mimental.net, let's get you on. But you have to understand, we want you to tell your story. We want the things that you may not want to be comfortable talking about normally. That's kind of what we do here.
Right.
You heard my poem if you're actually listening, so you know what we do here. Yeah, I was weeping like a baby last night when I wrote that.
Well, it had a lot of you in it. Had a lot of truth in it.
Yes.
Truth is always painful to let out.
Always.
So Sarah's Keanu. Kat, you could be anonymous. K is our guest tonight. I'm all, Ken R is our guest tonight. Or take, just start calling him by different, like all of his different names he's taken while through acting. So Ted, tell us a little bit about yourself.
And how are you tonight, Mr. Wick? No.
Okay,
I
so
don't remember what the hell his name was in The Devil's Advocate, because that's like one of my favorite
oh
movies.
my god, that movie is so good.
Oh my god, it is.
So Klaatu, tell us about when you were a kid.
Oh.
God, see, we still have to get together and do the prehistoric planet. Like, seriously.
Dinosaurs and paleontology and just evolution in general. One of my favorite things.
Same. I love that my son is huge into dinosaurs because it gives me an excuse.
Oh my god.
Hey, kid.
I love it when kids are in their dinosaur phase.
It's like, do you want to watch Walking with Dinosaurs? Oh, you do? Yay! Let's go watch Walking with Dinosaurs.
My nieces love dinosaurs. My youngest niece, she saw me playing the dinosaur game, as my other niece calls it.
The aisle?
And she pointed and said, yes. She pointed and said, dinosaur! And she doesn't talk too much. She started just talking in more sentences lately.
Aww.
But yeah.
More reason to play the game.
Yes. They love it. They ask me all the time, like, can you be the crocodile? Or can you be the pterodon? I'll be like, sure. And then they leave me after about 15 minutes.
They saw it. They're happy. They go on for the next thing.
Right, that's like the attention span.
Yes.
Actually, 15 minutes is pretty lucky. Normally it's like 7.
Normally it's like, okay, the game launched, they saw the intro, they're okay, I'm good. but
they always come back though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My kid, he's really big into Minecraft as well. But he has a Lego Jurassic World game on his tablet.
Oh.
Yeah. And
awesome.
When he's done potty training and things stabilize a little bit more financially around here, I'm buying a gaming rig and we're getting the Jurassic World game. I promised him that, hey, if he potty trains, we're getting that. It's just
nice.
It's an excuse for me, but at the same time,
it's bonding for the two of you. And
exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's amazing. It's like, Adam gets into certain things and he gets into moods where certain movies or cartoons or whatever are his favorite at the moment. And
they're fun.
They're so much fun. Last week, he and I sat and watched like 4 seasons of The Simpsons together because that's what he was into at the moment.
Hey, you have like 30 seasons to pull from.
Right?
Yeah, and I have like 18 of them on DVD, so.
And the first seasons, I mean, come on, heads and shoulders way over what we have now. The Simpsons of today would not have made it. I think that it's still running because it's a legacy thing. And they do still come up with some funny shit. But it's nowhere
They do.
near what it was.
They do. I was watching the crossover episode last night with The Simpsons and the Family Guy, so
That was such a good episode.
that was so amazing.
So right now...
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh,
It's so
good.
funny.
It's so good. Homer and Peter together. I mean, come on. Just
Right.
come on.
Stewie and Bart together. It was,
Oh, that's just tragic.
yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Do you remember how awesome the animation was in the first season of The Simpsons? And how have you seen how the animation totally changed over the years?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Well, look at South
Well, I
Park, first season versus the rest of the season. The first one was all done by hand and stop motion. And then after that, it's all computerized. That's why they're able to crank out an episode about something that happened last night.
Right.
SpongeBob is a pretty good example too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Dude, SpongeBob's awesome.
Look at the very
It
first
is.
Garfield comic and look at Garfield today.
Yeah.
Garfield had a massive transformation. So did Odie. John's about the same.
My favorite was always Arlene with that gap between her teeth.
Yes.
I was like, that's a sexy dog right there.
Oh, did you know that John and Liz got married? The veterinarian?
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Huh.
He finally won her over.
That's awesome.
Right?
That really is. That's beautiful.
That's like 40 or 50 years of chasing.
Yeah.
And if you ever want something really funny, Garfield without Garfield. Or Garfield minus Garfield. It's a website. It looks like John's having an existential crisis because they've meticulously removed Garfield from everything.
Oh, my goodness.
And it really... Some of them...
Hello.
Some of them are like, okay, that's just kind of weird. And others, you're like, holy shit, this guy's lost his fucking mind.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
I mean, it's like, the people that come up with this shit, it's just...
Lots of drugs. Lots of drugs.
Yeah. What were you going to say, C?
I love people's minds.
Yes.
I like how you can have 50 people in a room look at something and every one of them will see it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things about humans. Now, if we can accept the other person's viewpoint, that would be gorgeous.
And
Yeah.
just accepting another person's viewpoint doesn't mean that you have to change your own.
No. But
Right.
just accept that opinions are opinions and everyone's entitled to theirs.
Yeah.
And you can listen to it and understand it without having it change you.
And maybe it'll change you for the better. Maybe you'll see something, like they'll show you something that you just didn't see.
Yeah. God, it happens to me every day.
Yeah, but since I started therapy and started journaling, man, I kind of feel like I am just like, I'm at that point now, digging through my emotional suitcase. I now have the knife out and I'm cutting out the bottom because it's a false bottom. And going into the hidden stuff.
It's
This therapist
yucky.
is awesome. Oh yeah, it's yucky.
I find after a year and a half, I got done with what I refer to as my autobiography in my therapy. So, first visit or first couple of visits was like, list all the things that you believe have affected you, like lifelong. And I finally got through the very last one on Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a stack. And there's stuff that
Right.
that I just didn't I didn't know affected me in the way that it did affect me. And then there's stuff that I'm like, wait a minute, what? You were 10 years old and had a dude come out from where the railroad tracks are flinging his penis around, and you didn't tell your parents?
And that's actually happens way more in our town area than you'd like to admit, even if you weren't there at the time. That's just that sounds like Mount Shasta.
But then I kind of realized that no, the reason I never said anything to my parents is because we just didn't talk about sex. I didn't know how to say penis to my mom.
Yeah, we had a neighbor take us to North Shore.
Sorry.
Yeah, and you know that trail, how it leads to where that sandbar is?
Yeah.
That comes up every year when the water gets low? Yeah, so we were hanging out there, and some guy was there, and my sister noticed that he was petting his pee-pee.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah. Needless to say, that neighbor never took us anywhere ever again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely crazy crap that literally, I got done writing that one. So my parents owned a store in Mount Shasta, and there was railroad tracks behind it when people still jumped trains. So we'd have a lot of
Wait,
hobos.
you're acting like they don't do that still.
Well, not as much. You didn't have
There's entire enthusiast groups that do this now. It's like
Are there?
yeah.
My uncle taught me how to when I was super young so that I could find a way to get home on time.
Sounds about right.
But he taught me how to read time by the sun and then to know the train schedules. So instead of walking the 3-mile hill up to the house, because I was up by Jamie Ponte, I could hop a train because the trains...
Let the train do the work. And since it's going up a hill, it's not going to be going all that fast.
Right? But yeah.
Unless it's Amtrak. Jesus.
Oh, holy Hannah.
Amtrak.
But yeah.
You're not supposed to go more than 55 miles an hour through a city. Amtrak, 120. Boom.
Hey, yeah, it was, we were outside, me and a friend were outside throwing super balls against the back of the store. And literally you turn around and there's this guy is like, hey. And we turn around and he has a t-shirt on that's long enough to cover everything up. And we're like, what? And he lifts his shirt up and he's like, have you ever seen a penis before? And I'm like, no. And we go bolting for the door and start just pounding on the doors because they have the auto locks on them. And he took off. And in therapy, I get done writing this and I finish and I look at my therapist. And I'm like, why in the fuck did I never tell my parents?
Well, I mean, there's quite a few things I didn't tell my parents. So I can understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just such an outlandish event.
Yeah, that is disgusting, to say the least.
It was super uncomfortable. And I came, because I actually go over to my parents' house after therapy, which is kind of psychotic, but it works for me.
Hey, whatever helps.
But yeah, that night I asked him, I was like, did I ever tell you guys? Because I don't remember talking to you about this. Did I ever tell you about this? And my dad was like, what?
Okay, so that's a no.
I guess I didn't. Yeah, super weird.
Sorry, must have slipped my mind.
Right, it's just so weird.
Yeah. But no, seriously, as far as the train hopping goes, yeah, there's communities, people actually get together. It's a hobbyist thing for people that, have, time to kill, which, God, what's that like?
Right? Lucky them.
Right?
One day.
Ooh, one day. And now you hear it in your head.
I'll have 5 minutes to kill. And I won't use it uselessly.
All right, so you ready for this? And not the dance song. Y'all ready for this? That is the year span, basically, in genre of music that they play at Golfland Sunsplash on Friday nights. It's all like 90s pop. Like, we had the Spin Doctors playing. We had Rockwell. Oh my god, it is so awesome. And like, even the young kids are dancing and singing along. Retro music is like the genre now, and I love it.
Well, because I think we start running out of things eventually.
I mean, it was great being there doing the, make sure your mind's connected. The writing's on the wall. And if your mind's neglecting.
Everything retro is coming back. I'm here. I made my own personal retro purchase. Part of my exercise therapy.
Nice.
Yes, I had to get some skates.
You know that the skate.
Those are awesome. I love that they're pink.
Thank you. I'm in love with them.
So we've been having my favorite bowling alley, which was also my favorite karaoke spot, was torn down.
Oh, sad.
Years ago.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And I mean, I was there the last night they were open, and we had karaoke, and yeah, I'm still friends with some of the employees. Like, we follow each other on Facebook, and we don't even live in the same state anymore. But yeah, it was a cool thing. And some of the skating rinks are starting to disappear, but the Skate Inn is still here in the northern Sacramento, Citrus Heights, Carmichael area. It's mostly still here because of roller derby. Yes, roller derby is still here.
Which is awesome. That's something I've always wanted to get into.
I'm fascinated by roller derby. There's a movie that Drew Barrymore directed about roller derby. It's called Whip It, and it has well, now it's Elliot Page and Drew Barrymore is in it, and Juliette Lewis, and it's a really cool movie.
And Sarah, we went to school with someone that's still not as active as they used to be in derby, but they used to do competitive roller derby, had name, and yeah.
There's a handful of people that we went to school with that did. Are you talking about one that was in your grade?
Yep.
Was it KZ?
Yep. Yeah, no, roller derby. I remember watching roller derby on TV. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. They actually are getting paid to beat the crap out of each other. Not like hockey where there's an excuse to do it. It's like, they're supposed to do it.
That's the point of it.
Although one of the funniest things I ever saw with professional hockey is two guys, they were both enforcers, and they went and they just started beating the snot out of each other. And they both got sent to the penalty box. And then as they were sitting there, they're like, hey, how's the wife and kids? Oh, they're doing great. Totally, as if nothing happened on the ice. And then they both get let out, and the first thing they do is they start beating the shit out of each other again. But they're like best friends. Yeah, that's just crazy. And then Kat was saying skating is back again. There's several people on YouTube that skate. What's interesting is they've gone back to four wheels too, and not just the rollerblades. Yeah, you go to the roller rinks, it's still roller skates. Very few rollerblades.
Yeah, Adam loved.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say Adam used to love it. In the town I grew up in, there was, or close to it, there was a roller rink, and his school that he went to would actually take him, and they did the coolest thing to help the kids that had trouble with coordination and stuff. They would use walkers that would roll, and they would put the skates on the kids and give them walkers so they could stand up straight and enjoy the roller skating and stuff. And Adam always had a blast. I was never coordinated enough to stay upright on roller skates, so
I'm tall. It hurts when I fall. So, I don't like roller skating. No, not at all. Although, when my now 21-year-old went roller skating to the roller nights for her school and they wanted adults to come along, Yeah, I roller skated with her. Oh, I paid the price for it, but I went roller
It's
skating
like,
with her.
I do not roller skate, my friend. It hurts when I fall on my rear end.
I like to roller skate, but not very fast, because when I lose my balance...
I'll sit at a table and have some nachos because I don't want to bust my. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know where I was going with that.
I can't think of anything.
Tachos. No.
I like that.
All right, so...
I'm sorry. The silly portion of the evening has obviously kicked in.
Yep. Cat Skating by Dr. Seuss.
Oh, Lord.
I still
I
love...
can Seuss with the best of them.
I still love the fact that Yertle the Turtle was a protest book against the Nazis.
Oh my god, Yertle the Turtle is like my favorite Dr. Seuss story ever. I actually have a copy of it.
My favorite's Fox and Socks, because it is the toughest tongue twister that I actually memorized the entire book cover to cover, including the ISBN number at one point.
Oh, my word.
Wait, Kat, you didn't know that Yertle the Turtle was a political book about Hitler?
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
read it with that in mind, and it's like, holy shit, how did I miss this?
It is. I have. Oh, looky here! I just found it. I have my Dr. Seuss book, which has all of his stories in it.
Nice.
Let's see. I read a couple of these on like a Twitter live thing because I was bored one time. I think it was back when they were like trying to cancel Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, that... Okay, you know what? Some of the stuff that he did was fine at the time and wound up eventually we learned, yeah, that's probably not cool.
Cool, then why don't we cancel Disney?
Yeah, I don't agree with the canceling of it. I think you leave it there as a lesson. This is where we came from.
Was it you that put the cancel culture thing up that it was, I don't, yes,
First
it was you.
First they took the Indian from the Land of Lakes and kept the land. Then they took
Yeah.
away Uncle Ben. Then they took away Aunt Jemima. But they left the Quaker guy. Progress.
Right?
Right.
I was like, you could not have done anything more American than to kick the native off the land and keep the land. Land O'Lakes.
No lakes.
Yeah. I found Yertle the Turtle.
I found it.
All right,
I kind of want to read it.
So this is one of the tongue twisters that came from Fox and Socks. It's their only one that fits on one page, and it is rather challenging. Through 3 cheese trees, 3 freely fleas flew. While these fleas flew, Freezy Breeze blew. Freezy Breeze made these 3 trees freeze. Freezy Trees made these trees cheese freeze, and that's what made these 3 free fleas sneeze.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. My mind would give up after the first line.
I'm all happy I can say toy boat.
Once, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, I can get through it.
I can do rubber baby buggy bumpers for as long as you give it to me. My sister and I, we used to do tongue twisters all the time. And then my ex-wife, when we were first starting to get serious, it was beyond dating, but we weren't engaged yet, but we were definitely very exclusive. She handed me that book to read to the boy, who's in his 20s. And I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Fuck, that book fucked me up. Of course, it didn't help that I was stoned. So I sobered my ass up. And like I said, I read that book so often. I had the intro, I had the back cover, the ISBN number, everything memorized. I had to. It was just, I couldn't stop.
Have you heard the fig plucker one?
No, but I know where that one goes.
I'm not a fig plucker nor a fig plucker son, but I'll pluck these figs till the fig plucker comes.
Yeah, I am not going to try that one unless I have it in front of me.
There's that, and there's, oh God, I'm going to screw it up so hard.
The slitted sheets one's a good one.
The 3 smart men, they felt smart. 2 smart men, they felt smart.
And they smelt fart, just where that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dad got me with the fig plucker a long time ago, and I was like, whoops. I hear little voices.
Yeah, he's...
Smooth.
The older... his older sister has scouts tonight, so he's with me. And he's just sitting next to me playing on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
He's playing Animal Crossing and Super Mario U Deluxe 2.
Heck yes.
Of Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Both of the... So I had... So it was actually Jay that got me Animal Crossing. And
Nice.
so I started playing it, and I was pretty happy with what was going on. And then the now 7-year-old jumped on, decided to be on the same island. It is all... The island is now just like a giant fucking force of nothing but just like a wall of trees from one end to the other. She plants everything. And then he decides to jump in, and now there are like half the island's fish tanks. I love it. I absolutely love it. But man, talk about ruining all the planning I had for my island. I love that my kids are on it. I love that it has just become chaos.
Have you gotten to the part where they actually let you build things? Like you can rearrange your island and build waterfalls and stuff like that?
Not yet, but I got the Mario tube, and I put it on that little isolated beach in the back using the ladder. And I knew the kids didn't have ladders then. So, like, go ahead and use that. They'd use it, and I'd take away the pipe. And then
I wish I did games.
And then my 7-year-old, she figured it out how to do this stuff, and she got her hands on a ladder, and she's like, "Hey, Daddy, there's something strange and green and round sitting outside your home right now."
Yeah, I've played Animal Crossing for so long. I call Tom Nook my raccoon overlord.
Oh my word.
Yeah, no,
I love some of the fish that they have in there, though. Like, you can catch coelacanths in Animal Crossing, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a few animal things that have like pun names, and I love it.
Really?
And then it's like, okay, let's go check out this museum that we just built. Holy shit, I'm going to be busy trying to get this full. It's like, it is scary how big that museum is the first time you walk into it.
Oh my god, trying to catch freaking tarantulas.
Oh, so because they kill you? Or they knock you out?
Yes.
Wasps too.
Do you know how to do it, though? Okay.
No, yeah.
I was like, scorpions are the same way.
Sneak and then pounce.
Yes.
Yes. Tiger beetles are kind of the same way. And then
Sneak and then pounce.
have you been on Tarantula Island?
Yes. I've been on Scorpion Island, too.
Ugh, fucking nightmares. My very first island! Here's tarantulas! Pfft. What the fuck's the point? That was my first thought. It's like, what's the point? Just to humiliate me? No, it was just luck of the draw, and I got the snake eyes.
You know, at least the spiders are fairly easy to catch. Not the tarantulas, but the regular spiders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Scarlett's doing well. Just ate a yellow jacket last night.
Nice.
What?
Good.
Yeah. I think she's really young because she got to the point where I thought she was going to sprout extra legs split in half and I'd have 2 adult Black Widows. You know, through spiderly mitosis. But no, I don't think that she's pregnant. I don't think that she's bred. I do believe that she's very young. She's extremely aggressive. But of course, a big coward too at the same time because that's what they are. And I think I'm going to have her for a few years.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think this one's going to stick around longer than Webony did.
Weapon.
The kids still are sad about Webony.
Aww.
You know you're raising them right when they like spiders.
Yes. They know the
Straight
value, and they also know that, hey, come here. I'm going to put you on the podcast for a second, okay? Come here.
Oh,
Come here, you.
Hey!
Oh, hello, small one.
Hi,
So-
sweetie.
What do you do to make a black widow go back to its home?
Blow on the web.
That's right, you blow on their web. But you want to blow on the spider, right?
No.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh.
Oh.
All right, so that's my first kid that's ever
Adorable.
been on the podcast officially. And it's the baby.
Yes. Adorable.
I love the baby.
Now I know why you had them older.
Right? Yeah, nothing makes you go, God damn, I should have had another kid. Like seeing just another one developing, being awesome. Yeah, but you know what? This is the 20% of the time.
I know. That's the part. I remembered the other part. That's why I was like, nah, one's good.
Yeah, this is number 4 being raised. Number 5 that
One
is
is
tied
super
to
good.
me. I will say that when you're younger, the first time being a parent when you're young, you have the energy to keep up, but you're going to make so many of your parents' mistakes because you're just going to react and not think about it. And you're going to sit there after you do something and you're just be like, fuck, now I get it. Or, fuck, I sounded just like my whichever parent that you happen to fit that time. And sometimes it'll freak you the hell out.
That's my favorite thing to hear from my daughter, though. Damn it, Mom. I'm sounding just like you. I'm saying all the things you said.
I'm waiting for that from my boy. I know it's coming soon because his baby is almost 2. It's coming soon.
It is.
Oh,
And I get
no.
apologies up the yin-yang now. I'm so sorry that I was like this. I'm so sorry that I gave you such a hard time.
And you did
I'm
that to your
so
parents too,
sorry.
didn't you?
Well, that's what I told her. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
but now I know what I put my parents through, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, same. I went to my dad so many times like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. I actually wrote my mother a very, very long letter and sent it to her, basically telling her thank you so much for being the kind person that you were, and I'm so sorry for making you worry for so many years. And then we had a conversation the other night about how, because I was worried to death about them. I couldn't find them on Life 360, and I was watching my dad walk around a movie theater parking lot looking for his car.
Oh.
And I literally, nobody was answering phones, so I just got in my car and I started driving to the movie theater. And he finally calls me. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, where are you and what are you doing? He's like, we just got out of the movies. I'm like, no, I have been watching you walk from parking lot to parking lot to parking lot. I was like, it'd be really nice if you had warned me that as an adult, I would worry about my parents as much as they did about me when I was a child. That would have been great to know.
Yeah. Yeah, watching my wife on her every single day off go and be a caretaker to her dad. Yeah.
That's hard.
And I look at my own parents, I'm like, yeah, they're younger. Not a lot younger, but they're younger.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna that's coming soon. And you know
It
what?
is.
Just
I don't look forward to it other than the time spent together.
Yep.
It is a very hard thing to take care of a parent.
I mean, these are the people that were invincible. They were the ones that made sure everything's going to be okay.
Well, it's not only that. It's seeing this. I mean, at least for me, because with my mom there was dementia involved, so I'm seeing this person who still wants to be fiercely independent, but they don't have the wherewithal to take care of themselves, and they're still trying to the best of their ability, and getting frustrated with me because I'm, help and figuring out ways to do that without making them feel like crap, basically, is hard.
It's
Yeah.
a hard line to walk.
What I would like to do, like if money were no object, which of course it'll always be, but if I ever got to that point, they have a type of house here, a certain builder does, called a home within a home. It's where they have a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, their own living room, their own entry. It's like it's like the in-law quarters, and it's attached at the laundry room to the rest of the house. From their kitchen to the laundry room to our kitchen. So they have everything they need to live completely independent, but all they have to do is walk one little hallway to be able to see their grandkids, come see how we're doing, visit, whatever.
I have a neighbor right down the street from me who has done that, but twice, because she's taking care of her elderly mother, and they have a son with disabilities that they will take care of for their entire lives. So they did the connection. They bought the lot behind them once it sold, and then they made a connection going like to the side of the house, and then there's one that goes towards the back of the house.
So as straight a line as you could do.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, this is brilliant. Like, this is one of the best ideas ever.
My last place that I lived in Mount Shasta before moving to San Diego, it was a house that was divided into 2 to become a duplex. You could tell just from the layout. But there was also another little tiny house on the property right behind it, too. And it's like, had it been just the one house and the little tiny one in the back, same kind of thing. Parents or in-laws could come and go as they please. I mean, I have my little office that I'm in right now. Heat, AC, insulation, air filter, mini fridge, Keurig, pull-out bed. My son, when he had to move back in with parents, he moved in with me, and he took over my back office. He could come and go as he pleased. He didn't have a bathroom, but we left the back door unlocked and the light on, so he could get to the bathroom.
Wow.
But other than that,
That's
you
the
know,
point.
it was really nice to be able to have him here and also have him not like, okay, you had a taste of freedom, now you're back under my roof, and you have to live by our routine, because you have to live by our routine. No, he got to be able to do whatever he wanted. It was awesome.
That's my daughter's paranoia point about me offering the open door for her. She's like, I don't want to live under your roof again. And I'm like, are you insane? I let you do anything. Even as a teenager, I was like, cool, whatever. Like, it's not like you have a lot of restrictions. But then I remember after our house caught on fire and I had to go live with my parents, I was like, it's just, you get out, you get independent, and it's really hard to go back.
It's a gut shot.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's just hard.
Right, and I know that if I had to, my parents would take me in. Just like I'd take either my kids and I'd take my parents and I'd take in any of my family in. You just don't want to. You just don't want to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the one that's being taken in, more than anything.
It's just
It's a gut
because
shot.
you have your own life routine. You have your own circadian rhythm. You have your own habits and your own things that you've created, and then you have to readjust and go back to things that used to be almost.
Yeah. And then it's also that whole thing of like, well, I'm kind of a night owl. My parents go to bed really early. My dad now is kind of a light sleeper. If I wanted to do anything, I'd have to tiptoe. At 45 years old, I would literally have to tiptoe around the house. I don't want to do that. Oh, yeah, really. I always respond to dogs when they bark.
Oh, they like to bark.
Our dog, our Beagle's the only dog in the neighborhood that we've had. There's a request that the dog be indoors after 10 o'clock p.m. I'm like, I get it. Beagles are fucking loud. Other
They're
dogs,
super loud.
it's like other dogs, they bark. My dog, will pierce
No,
your
Otis.
soul with that wail that comes out of him. And be like, they were like, so like, but we don't want to disturb you with your dog. It's like, look, I get it. You have the right to peaceful enjoyment. My dog's an asshole.
Exactly.
The problem is that one person one of the neighbors, I was like, maybe I should get one of those citronella bark collars. Like, you got to be careful with that. I'm like, okay. You're like, you have a story. He's like, yeah. My sister had a beagle, and the dog actually liked the taste of citronella.
Yeah.
So yeah, put the collar on. The dog's like, ooh, treats whenever I want.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're good. I think I'm having problems with my little one again. I don't think she's going to be around a whole heck of a lot longer. So about 5 months ago, we had 4 tumors removed, and she has grown about 7 new ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah. And man, that's my girl. And she's the one that I saved the day before they were going to put her down. And she has been just the most amazing little beast I could have ever asked for.
Aww. Yeah.
So, but as I was talking to my nephew, I was like, honey, you got to understand. If you don't go in purchasing a dog knowing that it's going to go before you do, you're not going into it with open eyes.
That's true.
Very true.
There's very few pets that you go in going, I'm going to be with this for the rest of my life.
Right?
And
A
they
turtle.
tend to be, and some birds. Like, yeah. And you got to be careful with them because whatever you teach them, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. So, yeah, so when you were like 20 and you thought it was funny to teach it to curse, you may not like it so much when you're 40 or 50 or 60 or, yeah.
Especially not if you have little kids running around and the bird is teaching the little kids how to curse.
Right?
Although, I want a starling.
Okay.
They can do R2-D2 perfectly.
Aw. Oh,
That
puppy.
short stack. Yeah, that's Gigi. She's my short stack. She's
Oh.
my favorite. That is Mr. McOderson.
I love the names.
Hi.
Oh, look at that happy face.
Oh,
It's
no.
a happy
Okay.
boy.
The full name, this is Otis Redding Pupmeyer.
Aw. Well,
Yes,
know,
I caught the joke.
Yeah. What?
his full name is Sir Java Chip. Hey, Chippy.
Nice.
Chippy.
Oh,
Sir Java
you're
Chip.
cute.
Well, Sadie's name
Yeah,
is actually
Melissa.
Sadie.
Oh.
Her name is Sadie Poofunctor.
I love it. See, Otis is Otis Redding Pupmeyer, but I call him Fat Man Do.
Isn't he also Bubba Fat?
Yeah, he's Bubba Fat and Fat Man Do.
That is so
He's my
awesome.
Parvo puppy.
I have nursed a couple dogs through Parvo.
My uncle
It's-
had a black
man.
Cocker Spaniel that he called Mork, as in like Mork and Mindy.
Yes!
But the
I
dog's
love it.
papered name
Let's do this.
was Orca Porca Winfrey. I'm like, that has got to be a shot at
Oh.
Oprah.
Holy Hannah. Orca Porca
Okay.
Winfrey.
And is still, to this day, the only Cocker Spaniel that I actually bonded with and liked, because Cockers can be dicks.
Yeah,
The only
they
dog that
totally
has
can.
ever bit me was a Cocker. The only dog that ever drew blood on me was a Cocker. And my uncle's Cocker, his whole life was the ball. And let's just say that his name should have been Baker because he got a lot of contact highs.
This
Oh.
This dog was so
Aw.
fucking mellow and cool.
this is his official name is Osito Montclair.
Oh.
Y'all have
Um,
such cool pet names. What the hell?
Yeah, Osito Montclair. I only call him that. He gets called all kinds of other things, but mostly it's the baby.
Oh.
So
Hey.
one of our like Sarah and I know friends, mutual knowledge, had a Jack Russell Terrier named Cody, and then she got a girlfriend and came up with the last name Pendant.
Coachy Pants. This is Princess Buttercup Nesbit Brown.
Oh, Princess Buttercup! I'm in love with you because of your name. That's all. That's it. I need to meet you.
She's named after Princess Buttercup from The Princess Bride.
Yes.
As you wish.
Wow.
And her nicknames include
Blep.
Cuppy, Cuppy Puppy, Buttercuppy Puppy, Peanut Butter Cuppy, Princess Pretty Paws, Ravioli Head.
I love it.
Yes.
Miss Blep, because
My cat has many
permanent
nicknames
blep.
too.
Oh my god.
Sadie
Well,
has
so-
the nickname the Caped Crusade because she has this cape outlined on her color pattern.
I love that.
Aw.
I
I
love that.
also sing to her, all in the world of a little yellow dog.
Oh my god.
And then I also
So,
sing.
Otis.
I also sing this. If she's outside, she will come. I go, Sadie, it's so whoa whoa, and she's
Oh my
boom.
god.
Yep, she's here. I called it. She's here.
Aw.
Aww.
It works every time.
Ooh, big yawn.
Otis has his long name of his Otis Redding Pupmeyer, and then Gigi is literally G. It's just two G's.
See, I am a weirdo who, I don't know why, but that scene in Toy Story where Buzz Lightyear has lost his arm and he's drinking tea and he's like, this is Nesbit. That's where I got Buttercup's last name from.
Oh my god.
Next thing you know, you're sucking down Darjeeling.
Her mom's name was Lily Bell Nesbit. I give my dog's last name. So she is Buttercup Nesbit Brown because her daddy's name was Charlie Brown.
Aww.
Oh, that's cute.
All right, so when I first moved to San Diego, I was 23, 22, 23, around there. Pretty young. And ran into this retired couple, and they were walking their two dogs, and I was like, "Oh, what are their names?" So it was Brownie and Bumper, and I'm like, "Okay, kind of interesting names." Like, yeah, it's mom and daughter, and mom was Bumper, the baby was Brownie, the dad that passed away was Grinder. So you had Bumper and Grinder,
Oh
and they
my
had
god,
a Brownie.
Bumper and Grinder.
Oh, that's so
Mm.
And a Brownie. That they
Aw.
I just about died. I was laughing so hard because their dogs were literally Bumper and Grinder.
I'm kind of in love with that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I sing to my dogs too, though. They each have their own song, which are just disturbingly awful, but I love them because I made them up. Well, okay, get the tune of oh god, what is that?
I don't know. Come on. What's the song? Come on. No pressure. Hurry.
God, I can't think of the song. You'll get it from the tune, though. But Oso's song is, "Oh, Cedo, walking around in a doggy speedo, tiny little Oso in a doggy speedo. How I love a doggy in a doggy speedo. Oh, Cedo."
And now he's coming for the kisses.
God. Oh, I love it.
And he comes when I sing to him, of
What do we
course.
do to our pets?
Yeah. Meanwhile,
So,
the beagle's just Buster. I'll call him the Bustard or the Bastard. Just.
Oh,
But yeah,
chippy choo.
Buttsturd is my favorite.
I don't know where. I do from South Park. The one episode of South Park where Stan is like locked in a basement with Butters and some other people, and they're playing this really weird tippy tippy choo choo tra la la thing or whatever.
yes.
So
Yes.
when I call Chippy, I say chippy chippy choo choo.
Oh my god.
Chippy chippy choo choo.
All right, so I had a pair of cats at one point. They were siblings. It was Daisy and Confucius. They were dazed and confused.
Same. We had Huff and Puff.
Nice.
Yeah, we had Huff and Puff.
I had
two.
I had a cat named Niblet. I had a cat named Skittles, which actually it was a calico with a Phantom of the Opera black mask.
Nice.
I had two birds once called Shut Up and You Hurt.
Is that because that's what they said the most?
I would shut up, shut up, shut up.
And then that one would
Oh
bite
my
you.
God.
You hurt me. You hurt me.
Yep.
Yep.
I had a hamster named Bites You when I was younger.
Bites you?
Bites you.
Bites You. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
named him when I was like, I don't know, 2 because he bit me. My brother asked, why is he named Bites You? And he stuck his finger in the cage.
Hey, he
and-
got bit.
That's fine.
Yes.
It's not
I
just a
had
name; it's a warning.
I had this.
Yeah.
I had a little hamster that had red eyes,
Oh,
and
no.
she was such a pretty girl, and so I named her after one of my favorite anime characters that has
We're lagging.
Uh-oh.
flaming red hair. And
Oh.
and she quickly became known as Bitey because she liked to bite people when they picked her up.
We
Of
had-
course.
We had a teddy bear hamster that lived to be 2, which is old for a hamster.
Yes,
Mhm.
it is.
She went from gold to solid gray by the time that it was done. Her
Oh.
name was Hazel Houdini. She
Did
would
you
Out of
escape a lot?
anything?
she would escape, stuff her cheeks with food, go from the kids' room down the hall into our room, climb up on our bed, and wake up the wife. Like, okay, I'm
Oh, God.
packed and ready to go back home now. This
No.
is, and it wasn't an isolated event. It happened like 4 times. I kid you not. It was
That is
insane.
awesome.
It's like this hamster really knows how to get back home.
That is
I-
crazy.
If you like small pets like that, I will give you a warning. Be very wary of buying a Russian dwarf hamster.
Oh, the robos are
No,
mean
you'll
little
never
fuckers.
find them.
A robo dwarf hamster. I'm sorry, not Russian. A robo dwarf hamster.
Those things are
Yeah, they are
fucking
the
mean.
fastest little fuckers. This
No,
one,
they are.
2 of them.
this one got. I had one that got out of its carton when I was leaving the pet store. And I am chasing this little bastard through a PetSmart parking lot, trying to catch it in a cup because
Oh, God.
it got out of the car. It scrambled.
All right.
It was horrible.
Word of warning. Like, I had a leopard gecko. Leopard geckos are amazing. They have no sense of what a cliff is, so you can't have them on your bed.
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
you know. They have to be on the floor if you have to take them out of their cage, because they will get hurt. They just don't get it. But there's a reason why they cost about 3 times more than a tokay gecko. And why the tokay gecko is one of the cheapest out there. They are nocturnal. The male's mating call sounds like tokay, tokay, tokay. They live up to 20 years, and you reach into that cage, and they will bite you. They will leap at you and bite you. They are mean little bastards. And they live for 20 years and cry, tokay, 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 all night, every night. Ah!
Wow.
One of my best friends in high school had a male rat, and if you know rodents, you know what a male rat's genitalia looks like, and their nuts are huge.
If they were made
Alright.
of metal, they'd spark as they run.
So he named him Nads.
Perfect.
My
That was
nephew.
his name.
My nephew had a white rat named Willard, and I
Nice.
absolutely loved this rat. It used to sit on my boobs and eat grapefruit.
All right, so
Oh my God.
you remember Mr. Bauer's class?
Yeah.
Every day that I went in there, I had my big 49er parka on. I would put all the rats in my parka and let them crawl around me throughout the whole time.
Oh my God.
Because they were just so
You were
sweet.
there. You were there when people started growing pot in his.
That was my
his-
group.
Of course it was.
But it wasn't me. I was the straight and narrow person. But yeah, that was literally my science group. I still could tell you the names of everybody in that group and the 2 that did it.
Wasn't one of the cheerleaders in your group SA with the long brown hair?
No, I did have AK.
Okay.
That was the same group as me. And then the year ahead was KB. Blonde.
That one. Oh, okay.
Okay, just to make sure that you got the right one, and I'm not trying to be vulgar here, but big titted blonde.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I know
yes.
who you're talking about.
And she was one of the two that did the planting.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was my group. I had to sit in the office. Oh,
Because of your group.
because of my group, I was terrified. Also, in that group, someone that we know that has a lot to do with wine with ML
Okay.
was in that group. Yeah, it was interesting. I can't believe that you remembered that.
Oh hell yes, I remember that.
You know,
I totally remember that.
you know what Mr. Bauer's big mistake was that he said?
Huh?
He led them to the office, and of course, immediately, pockets emptied into the bush.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, he should have followed them, because then they're like, turn out your pockets. Nothing there. Of course, the drug dogs that they brought in are going nuts, going, it's there! It's there! Well, it was. Oh, man.
Memories.
Yeah, you see, that's just like how my life works. There's just this random story from decades ago. Yeah, that was my group. I wasn't part of that. I witnessed it, but I wasn't a part of it. I heard that. I was the one that was so fucking bored with the new way they were doing science classes then that I was writing the conclusion. Like, I was writing up the entire paper as they were doing the experiment, because I remembered having done the experiment in 4th grade or 5th grade or 6th grade or 7th grade or 8th grade. But we had already done the experiment, so I'm already fully aware of what's going to happen. We just have to plug in the numbers. You were so far away, we could barely hear you.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, then something's going weird. I'll see if I can switch it up here.
I love Mr. Johnson. I'm so glad you mentioned him, though. The one thing he did, because I had him in his homeroom, he did one thing that scared the shit out of so many students that he got in trouble for it. He was holding a softball, because remember, he was also the girls' softball coach.
Yep.
And he said, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Without warning, he turned and threw the softball as hard as he could at a cabinet door. The cabinet door rebounded open. He was demonstrating, but people thought he was angry and being a bully and threatening and...
Ugh.
I was like, that's how you get, preteens and early teenagers' attention. Tell you what, you see that all of a sudden, boom, everyone's like, what was that?
Remember to take your nighttime meds, as I'm doing that right now. Sorry.
I don't have one. I mean, I have a nighttime gummy.
Hey. Oh.
I'm throwing a out there.
I hear pit bulls tearing some living baby apart.
They're playing.
I know. I just I mean, there are still people out there. I used to be one of those anti-pit bull people because it's just a bad breed. No. All it took... Okay, so he was a guest on 2nd season. I'm not going to drop any hits. You guys... Bexy knows him, and that's it. His dog is part pit bull, part I don't know what else. That was the ambassador dog that got me to fall in love with pitties. To see what a pitty truly is, not what the fearmonger.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. The dog's name is Stitch. The dog is deaf.
I know who you're talking about.
The dog is deaf and is definitely appropriately named.
They're my favorites.
They're so gentle. Like, even if they give kisses, it's like they gently put the tongue to you and then pull away. It's like there's not like a lab which is trying to lick the face off of existence.
I'll put treats in my mouth, and Gigi, the little one, she'll hop up for it, but gently. Otis will look at me and go. and smack his lips 4 times. It's always 4 times. And then he'll just very gently grab it because he's so scared he's going to hurt me.
Yeah, and it's like I had a Doberman and a Rottweiler and a Boxer. You'd think that I'd have been okay with a Pit Bull, but, you know, it's what you live with and raised by. And then my parents were also scared of pits, so I got a lot of that anti-pit stuff thrown at me. And I believed it for a very long time, up until my 30s.
I'm gonna be honest. I have a fear of Dobermans because I've learned, and I'm trying to, you know, combat that fear. I don't live around any now, but when I was like 12 or 13, I lived in an apartment complex, and there were people that had 2 Dobermans there, and they let them out on the grounds unsupervised all the time. Dobermans are super territorial.
Yep.
And they're also they can be both the smartest and stupidest dog you'll ever meet at the same time.
But they chase me every day.
Yeah, that's just not cool. Those people suck. They are terrible Doberman owners. My Doberman was just so happy to see me that he'd run at me as fast as he could and plow into me. That hurt like hell, but he wasn't trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean,
dumb.
I would have thought these dogs were just playing or something like that, but I mean, it was a ferocious, territorial, you're on my property, I am going to snarling, growling, snapping at me as they're...
Yeah, meanwhile, my Dobie was...
I am a chubby 12-year-old. I am not running fast.
You would have loved my Dobie. He didn't have a territorial bone in his body. Strangers walk onto the property, he's like, oh, cool, someone to pet me. And he'd go trotting up, tongue lolling out, ears back, tail stub wagging, his butt's wiggling. People just saw the brown and tan and would freak the fuck out. Best watchdog ever!
Oh, nobody wants to walk up to my house.
No, you got pitties.
Oh, dude, and short stack, she will sniff you out, and if she's short, okay? So if she doesn't like you, she's going straight for your junk, because that's what she can reach.
So we for a short time adopted a half Doberman, half black lab. Cooper was his name. I really wanted to keep Cooper the Pooper, but he had separation anxiety, and at the time I was working away from home. The wife was working away from home and also had school in the evenings, and he was too destructive. Had I been working from home, I would have kept him. So I wanted to know what he would do when a stranger approached the property, so I wasn't there during his adoption. I wasn't there when he was brought home and made comfortable. Then I came home.
You were the stranger.
I knocked on the door and opened the door, and he came. Oh, God. He had that beautiful Doberman bellow bark. That deep, booming bark. And it's like, this dog sounds massive. He was big. I'm not going to lie. He was bigger than a lab, but he was not, he wasn't like Roddy size. And he came right to the threshold and stopped and started sniffing me. I was like, this is exactly what I want.
Uh-huh.
And then he sniffed me, and you could just see a flash of confusion in his eyes. And then the realization, oh, he smells like this house. He must belong in this house.
Yep.
And just like that, I was part of the family.
Yeah.
The dog, I don't know. That is like the perfect dog right there. And we couldn't keep
I have no idea where I would be without my dogs. And I didn't grow up with dogs. My parents were anti-animal, and I was the chick that would like bring home snakes and be like, "Look, can I keep it?" So we had cats to catch the chipmunks that like to eat the strawberries.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, and that was it. That was it. So dogs were a very new thing in my life. When my daughter was young, and I was like, this is the best thing you can do.
It's a game changer.
I honestly don't know where I would have been in this last year and a half without my dogs.
I was raised with dogs, and then I got together with an anti-pet person. And yeah, I didn't get a dog again until my current wife, and that's Sadie. And like the day I brought her home, the day all of a sudden like something fell back into place that was missing, that I didn't even realize was missing. I can't live without dogs. I don't know how. It's like my parents are older and like, we're never gonna have a dog again. I'm like, okay, I get that. When I get to that age, I'm having basset hounds because they're a fucking potato with a tail.
Right.
They don't do shit. They just
something that doesn't need a lot, but that will still be there. And
you take them out to go potty. That's about all the walking they want to do. They'll happily go for a walk if you want to, but that's all that they have to do.
Yeah.
And the cat said, I'm a cat person. Well,
Yeah, well,
cat avatar. Always cat emojis.
Yeah.
No clue. Completely baffled by this. I had no idea. One of my sister's doggies is a pit mix. Her name is Sweet Pea. She's a rescue, dumped in a desert in Texas, pregnant. She started out afraid of everything and everyone. She's now the absolute sweetest. Loves everyone and everything. Well, except for fireworks. Did you hear about Italy? Noiseless fireworks because of dog health.
That's brilliant. Poor Otis, man. He, especially this last 4th of July, because it was on a Monday or whatever. Like, it was like a week worth of fireworks. And the house that I was telling you about earlier that they added on the 2 extras to, they actually put on an entire, like, real fireworks show.
And so, as cool as that is,
my dog was fucked up for 2 weeks.
And it's like, I as a dog lover myself, I get the problems with that. Also, I live in a suburb. I have to prepare for that. You know what my dogs get on 4th of July? They get a CBD treat that's specially for dogs. They get a dose of God damn it, what's that?
Mine get trazodone.
No, they get God damn it, there's a joke, it's a antihistamine.
Benadryl.
Yeah, they both get a Benadryl, and they get their Thunder shirts. And then we come out to my office because it's the most insulated and the furthest away from the street, and I put music on and have the AC running, and they actually sat looking at the window watching the lights, but they couldn't hear the booms.
See,
and they were stoned on their, as far as you can do safely for a dog. They were stoned and tranquilized, and they actually did great this year. Usually, Sadie's just a shivering mess for hours.
Otis was fine with the noise until he saw the sky falling.
Oh no! All the sparks coming down.
It did not bother him at all. The booms did not bother him at all. And then he went out to go to the bathroom, and one of them went off, and the sky was falling. And it has been, I can't pop popcorn in the house.
Oh.
Like, he runs and he hides in the bathtub. Like, and he just shakes and shakes and shakes, and I just feel so bad for him. But I mean, it is what it is, and I load him up as much as I can. I'm like, here, I'm going to give you everything the vet said I can.
Aw, Kat just said, my sister has doggy music on Alexa. It really helps to calm them down.
Yeah.
Yep. And Thunder shirts are amazing. If you haven't had a Thunder shirt, I recommend
They're
it.
awesome.
They're awesome.
They're so good. It's a hug for your dog.
Yeah. And some people are like, it's cruel to have your dog laying on the ground and then you climb over top and kind of do the hugs on them. No. That is what an alpha does, and it comforts and soothes them. They go, you got me. I'm protected. I'm safe.
See, and I could never do that with Gigi because she is the alpha.
Uh-oh.
So she does not.
Okay.
She doesn't like being restrained at all in any way. She does not like hugs.
As long as she respects you, that's what matters.
Yeah, but like, and I mean, I can pick her up and hug her, and she'll look at me like, I hate this. But you know, I respect her and that, and I'm like, no, I let her figure out whatever she needs. Otis, on the other hand, is like, hug me, wrap me up in love, touch me everywhere.
So I have a video of me on TikTok where I said, you know, my dog, Sadie Dog, is the best, and here's why. And I showed that, yeah, she's very stubborn. She doesn't come, like, unless I'm giving her the direct command to come, she's allowed to make up her choices. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But I really wanted her to come, but I wanted her to come joyously. And I'm on my knees and elbows, arched up, with the camera pointing so you can see my head and like my abdomen, and out between my legs you can see the rest of the room in the hallway. And then I remembered, oh yeah, seeing Sadie ain't so. And I lift my head up and you see her come running, dive, slide under me, and then stop perfectly where I can lay my head right next to her, and she's like, kiss, 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 kiss.
Aww.
See, it just makes everything good.
Yeah, she's also the one dog that I was able to train to do more tricks than any dog I've ever been able to do, including having a treat balance on the snout until I say it's okay. And she knows the word is okay. It's not ole, play, go away, no say. She knows. And she'll twitch at some of them like, nope, that's not it. She knows. And if it falls, she just, her eyes, she whale eyes down watching the treat, and then looks at me like, now? Looks at the treat. Now?
Does she get the drool, the drip and drool action? Yeah, dude.
Not for the treats. As soon as you scoop up food for dinner. Bleh.
Oh, no, Otis is like, oh my god, you said the word. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
You know, my drooler is actually Buttercup when there's food around. The boy dogs don't. But man, Butters with her tongue hanging out, man, she just drips drool like crazy.
So with Sadie, we had to get a slow bowl because she doesn't eat her food; she drinks her food.
Yeah,
there is no chewing; it is just lick, swallow, lick, swallow, lick, swallow. There was a time, like my wife was offering, you know, she had a chicken leg and she had eaten most of the meat off, but had a little bit left, and was offering to go ahead and pull a little piece of meat off. She snarfed the bone out of her hand and swallowed it without biting it.
Oh, God.
Immediately looking online, you know, oh crap, is this bad? Like, it's only bad if the bone was cooked and chewed.
Yeah.
The stomach acid's not going to splinter it. And that's why it's like, you give them raw bones. It's like, but what about salmonella? Yeah, dogs don't get salmonella.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I had the opportunity. Oh.
He's happy dog.
I got to take Otis to the vet on Father's Day because I ran in the house desperately needing to go to the bathroom. And I had just bought a box of Clorox bleach tabs for the toilet, and the bastard ate one of them.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a heart attack and a half. That was many hours at the vet ER and extremely stressful. But the dumb son of a gun came out of it.
When I was growing up, you know, 8th grade year, we got our Roddy. She was about a year and a half old, I think, and she ate a box of Decon. Rat poison.
No!
And we started giving her salt water, because that's what Dr. Stremmel said. Love Dr. Stremmel, by the way. If you remember the veterinarian from the Mount Shasta area. Oh, Bexy, I'm sorry. Well,
that wasn't a Hashimoto pain. That was just a dog with a very heavy paw on my sore leg. So,
and yes, Kat, the box itself was only open for like 2 days, so it was a very whole box.
Oh, God.
We eventually had to take her in to Dr. Stremmel's, and they did what's funny, it's the same drug that they use to put your dogs down, like sodium pentothal, is the same thing they use to induce vomiting, just a lower dose. And she retched up everything. And I know that correlation does not equal causation, but it was awfully suspicious how she developed cancer so young. And after we cut out one tumor, her whole body exploded in tumors.
That's what I feel like is going on with Gigi. We got rid of the 4 she had, and it's been 5 months, and she's, I think I've counted 7 new ones now.
Yeah, at first my dad was like, well, she has a tumor, we're going to put her down. Because, that was the attitude back when my parents were growing up. My sister threw the biggest fit and went ahead and got surgery because it was on the back right thigh. Easy to see, outside, easy access, surface tumor. But then the next time, it was just, her whole body was just lumps.
Yeah.
And,
you try and then hope.
Yeah, and it's like, when you're cutting out that tumor, there's the risk that you might actually hit the tumor itself, spreading cancerous cells in the bloodstream. And wherever they anchor is where they will grow. And we'll never know if that was the cause or not, if that's what caused it to riddle her body, or if it was the decon, or you just never know with cancer. There's no way to know.
Huh.
It just sucks.
Not at all.
Makes me sad. This little girl is my oldest, and she's 14.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah.
Oh. Have you had her since she was a puppy?
Yeah, I owned her mama too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So she's been my baby for a long time.
Oh.
All I can think of when I see her is Blep Vader.
Yes. I've actually
Or
put
just Darth Blep.
blankets over her head, and I'll take a picture of her with her Blep like that, and it's like something, something, something dark side. Something, something, something complete.
Fucking love the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy they did.
Oh my god, it's so amazing.
It is one of the greatest tributes to Star Wars I have ever seen.
Hell yeah.
And I love the fact that even George Lucas loved it so much that he gave the rights to Seth MacFarlane to do as many Star Wars things as he ever wants to do because he kept true to the spirit.
Yes.
Speaking of which, the Orville New Horizons on Hulu. I have never seen episodes that have tugged me so hard emotionally in so many directions in my life. This is, for me, the greatest season of episodes of anything I've ever seen in my life. I put this above Breaking Bad. It is so good. And Breaking Bad is IMDb's top-rated show, and the only one that there's a single episode that has over 1,000 views or ratings and is still at a 10.0. That's on Breaking Bad, and I think these Orville episodes are right up there. They're so good.
I tried to watch Breaking Bad, and I can't.
Breaking Bad's not for everyone. You kind of have to be a masochist.
I couldn't watch it either.
It's a lot of addiction triggers for me.
Yeah. And the whole... And it's one of those shows, like, what show could be completely ruined if the antagonist was rational? Well, Breaking Bad. Okay,
right.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and accept your offer to take care of my cancer for me. Show's over.
I tried. I went through a couple episodes, and then I hit one that I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore.
Yeah. And the guy that played Jesse Pinkman, that was his first time ever acting.
Really?
Really. He just decided one day, how hard can acting be? You just pretend to be somebody else. So he tried out and fucking got the role. And to give you an idea of how dedicated this guy is, he went and stayed in group homes. He went to Narcotics Anonymous to learn. And he let the people know, I'm not a part of this. I'm studying for a role for a TV show. And they, everyone just opened up and just here's everything you need to know. Which is why, from what I've heard, and I'm not having gone through it myself, but from what I've heard, it is super accurate. And the funny thing is that the two main actors, through the show, actually know how to cook crystal meth appropriately. They wanted that level of accuracy. They know how. They don't do it, but they know how.
I have to get going. I just got a call from my dad, and he never calls me this late. I have
Bye.
to figure out what's going on.
Right.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Yeah. Also, we're down to our last 15 minutes anyway. So, yeah. I think that this was a pretty decent episode. We talked about some heavy stuff, and
We had some laughs. We had some tears. I think it was a pretty good show, all in all.
yeah. Hey, any show that makes you cry is a good show. I had Sarah taking off her glasses and wiping her eyes. Yeah,
No, anything that makes you cry is an excellent show.
Yeah, I cried a little.
Can't deny that.
I cried a little bit. All right, so next week we're finally tackling 22 for 22. If you don't know what that means, tune in. In the meantime, I'm E.
I'm Bexy.
I'm C.
And we'll catch you next week.